So here we go, let's see the grid for the final race. It's Roach from Smith with Gray and Leach, Charlie Charman and Simon Goddard with Alexander Preston and Will Blackwell Chambers in 8th. 9th and 10th is Henderson and Hufford with 111 Mark Litherland and Paul Bishop. Callum Edwards is 13th with JJ Clements 14th, Paul Tucker's 15th and Chris Hart's down in 16th. This is going to be a cracking race. Let's see how this one unfolds for us, and we just wait for the revs to rise up and the cars to make their way down towards the first corner. Away they go. It's a cracking start from Tom Roach in the Blendini Motorsport car, as we would expect, and he cuts across the front of everybody to get a really good searing line through the first corner. Second place is Smith. Brett Smith is under all sorts of pressure from the entire field though, as they come through turn 1 at Rockingham and head towards the Dean Hairpin, as we go on with Alex Preston. Preston diving up the inside, quick couple of checks of the mirrors just before he goes in. Everybody seeming to behave themselves just now. Having said that, who's that on the high wide and handsome line as they go through the Dean Hairpin back up towards inside? But Roach leads from the front from a sideways Smith on the turn in there, and it's Goddard who's got himself up to third place. Simon Goddard in the red 46 car, and that's a good move from Goddard. He'll be quite happy with that one in the Blink Motorsport car, just ahead of a whole train of cars. Difficult to pick up and eyeball them all just now, but up the inside, just a late move there. Very late. Was that young Preston? I think it was Alexander Preston. But we'll make sure we get a proper identification when the cars come closer towards us. But Tom Roach has been reeled in over this lap by Brett Smith. Tom Roach is going to have his work cut out for him this time. He's not going to have it all his own way as they come through. And you can see these guys trying very hard in the early laps. And Roach is under attack, and under heavy attack by Smith in the blue number 39 car, as is Goddard. As we just see that flicking out of our view as they come through the Tarzan hairpin and head back up towards the chicane. Now this is going to be interesting. We're going to see if Brett Smith can hold in race distance with Tom Roach. Roach is Mr. MX-5 in this paddock, as we've seen that for a couple of years now. Gets good line through the chicane there and back towards the inside. These two have already gapped and pulled away from a sideways Goddard there. Goddard looked like he was sideways going through the last apex of the chicane. That's going to hurt his speed down the main straight here as they come towards us, and Goddard is under heavy assault now. Heavy assault as they come through the first corner. Charlie Charman's in there as well. That's Goddard's teammate. But we are focusing on Tom Roach as he heads in towards the Dean Hairpin. Smith coming from a long way back there, and he's having a look. He's having a couple of thinks about that one. But he decides better off it in the end as Roach comes through. Roach is a little bit wide, if anything, there. A little bit wide, and didn't really give himself much of a chance. It's Ed Gray. It's those lime green wing mirrors that give it away in third place just now. And that's Ed Gray. Now remember, Ed in his first race had to come all the way through that pack, and we should remember that white number 14 car, because he had to fight all the way through the pack, and now he has got to the front of that pack very quickly in this race. Can he get on terms with Roach and Smith? Because these guys are driving the wheels off these cars at the front here. You can see them, they sit very differently in the car. Smith sits quite high, Roach sits very low down. But keep your eyes on that white car in third place, who's got past ahead of Simon Goddard, because Ed Gray is a quick man. Lap times on the last lap were pretty similar in the front two guys, but there was a bit of a drop back off pace for the guys in third, fourth and fifth. Henderson, Charman, Leach and Hufford with Blackwell Chambers that we want to try and pick up on, because that is where there is a battle raging in this, the final race for the MX-5s. So is Tom Roach going to be gunning for lap times? Is he just going to try and control this one? We shall be finding out soon as Ed Gray kicks up a little bit of dust there in third place. We finally see Ed, and it looks like Alex Preston has also pulled away from the ensuing mayhem that was behind him of Goddard, Henderson and Charman. Tarzan hairpin, not long left in this race now, and Brett Smith really is going to need a miracle, or possibly a bit of mechanical failure on this man's part. As in towards the chicane comes Tom Roach again. Let's watch him through here. Nice and smooth as you like. And here comes Smith, still using a little bit of that hot dog curb. And we get back on board with Charman. And Charman is looking ahead. That will be Henderson he's looking ahead at now. Alan Henderson, who is all over the back of the Blink Motorsport car of Simon Goddard. As we see them coming through there, keeping it neat and tidy on the exit. Now Alan Henderson, well, he's had a quiet-ish weekend up until this point, and he's thrust himself right into the limelight now, because he's all over the back off Goddard as they come through the first corner. I was just trying to listen to them to make sure they were all flat there, and yep, he's getting a good toe. He goes on the high side as Goddard goes defensive. Charman's giving us the onboard view as we see them coming in towards the Dean Hairpin. Charman tries to catch up. Goddard's going to keep Henderson on the high side. Henderson is going to try and cut back on the inside, but again it will put him to the wrong side. Is he going to try and have a dive up the inside on this next one? No, because Goddard, you can see him as defensive, but he's not defensive enough. Up the inside comes Henderson. There's a little bit of contact. Henderson holds a beautiful little four-wheel drift there, but in turn Goddard's now defending as Charman comes round the outside of Henderson as they come towards the Piff-Paff section of the track. And has Charman got it? No, Henderson's still there, but they're going to be side by side through Piff-Paff, and that just does not work, gentlemen, as over the inside apex curb goes Henderson, but up the inside goes Charman, and he takes the position back. Good bit of driving there. He could see what was happening in front of him, and he set himself up nice and neatly there. Henderson in the rearview mirror as Charman's having a good watch of Henderson and seeing where he's going to go. Henderson's got a good run as they come into Gracelands, but not to be. And that was all done at the Dean Hairpin for the move in towards the Dean Hairpin and out of the Dean Hairpin. And up the inside again into the Tarzan Hairpin comes Henderson on an absolute mission there. A mission, I should say. Good move, but can Charman do the famous cut back as they come at the hairpin? He gives him absolutely no room, runs him right out towards the edge of the track, but Henderson is in the prime seat. He's on the inside as they come up towards the chicane, and he holds him on the brake and he controls the corner. Good move. Alan Henderson is sideways on the corner entry for Charlie Charman, and we just watch these guys come through now, because this is giving Scott Leach, who's behind these guys, just that little bit of hope. If they keep battling, it's going to compromise their speed. And that's a little bit of hope for Scott Leach with a big tongue hanging out the front of that MX-5. But here he comes, out of the Dean Hairpin. It is Blendini Motorsports, Tom Roach. We keep saying this, I keep going on about it. He is the class of the field. And Brett Smith has kept him honest. We have to say that. I've got to take our hat off to Brett Smith. He's kept him honest. The fastest lap of the race was just done by Tom Roach there, a 1:47.660. And that was the quickest lap of the race, because Brett Smith's was 47.9 and he done that in the third lap of the race, so it's taken Tom Roach a little bit to get into the rhythm of the race here, but he's now doing 47.6s and pulling away. But Brett Smith has kept him honest, we've got to say that. Just needs to get that little bit more car performance so he could be right on the back of that Blendini Motorsport number 1 MX-5. As Tom comes up towards the Tarzan Hairpin, neat and tidy as you like, carrying the number 1 plate and displaying it with pride in the BRSCC Mazda Championship, the MX-5 Championship, and just clicking off the laps as he goes around here. He'll have a big smile underneath that RI crash helmet, and that big wavy curly hair will be we're starting to get a little bit warm, we would have thought. But we'll look forward to getting a good post-race interview from Tom Roach after this race, with our very own Jake Sanson down there in the pit lane. So out of the final corner, heading towards the starter's gantry, and there it is. It's 2-2 for Tom Roach. He takes a checker flag in second place for Brett Smith. A lonely race for Ed Gray, who comes home in third place in the white car, and it's young Alex Preston in fourth place. And who's going to get the fifth place? Who's it going to be? Coming over the line just out our sight, it's actually Simon Goddard. We see Goddard takes it. He'll be well happy with that in the Blink Motorsport car. But what a finale here at Rockingham that was. Your winner and Mr. Mazda, once again, Tom Roach in the Blendini Motorsport car from Brett Smith, Ed Gray, Alex Preston and Simon Goddard. Holds off Alan Henderson, the hard-charging Henderson from Charlie Charman, Scott Leach Hufford and Blackwell Chambers.
So the last race of the day has fallen to Tom. You've done a good job out there, haven't you, sir?
It's a good weekend, yeah. I mean, the car feels just like the end of last year, really. It's brilliant. Massive thanks to everyone who's helped me out at Blendini Motorsport and all the other guys. Car feels perfect as long as I don't make mistakes, then yeah, it seems to be going well.
I suppose the question all the other drivers want to know the answer to is, was it as easy as you made it look?
Like I said, the car is good, but you know, as long as you drive it well, then I mean, Brett stayed with me for at least half the race. I think his tyres got hot and I could see fast corners, he just couldn't quite stay with me towards the end, but I'm sure it'll be closer in the next races.
Okay, well done, Tom. I'm going to chat over with Brett in second place. Is it a case of so near yet so far for you, or are you quite satisfied with second place?
I'm pretty happy with second qualifying, 2 second places with one day of pre-season testing. I kept Tom honest, fairly honest sort of thing, the first 2 races of the season. It's just learning to manage the tyres a bit better, learning them a bit better generally, and working my setup around that. So yeah, I think I can keep him honest a bit longer, I hope.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's a win for you next time. I'll move quickly over to Ed in 3rd position. Ed, it's not bad going, a podium on the first weekend of the season.
Yeah, 2 podiums, got 2 thirds. Those boys are just a little bit ahead, but I made it hard work again like I did yesterday, but came back through the field. Car's got pace, and I'm sure it won't be long before I'm battling those 2. I'd just like to thank BS Motorsport for putting the car together really well, and Bardell for their oils. And I'm really looking forward to Croft. I think it could be a good, really fast, good season.
Well done, Ed. We hope to see you there as well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, that's all the action from today's racing at Rockingham, and it really has been a fantastic season opener. We'll be back next time at Croft, so join us then. From all of us here, goodbye.